Okay, so maybe this is video number 2 in the series. What this video is going to be about, it's going to be breaking apart the flat Earth model. So we're not going to be trying to prove what the shape of the Earth is. We're going to be taking the evidence presented that's going to be in favor of a flat Earth, and we're going to do some critical thinking. You know, is what we're presented right? And you know, keep in mind, like when you get like a hypothesis, and you know, you start breaking it, you start finding that it's false. If you do, right? Don't try to fit the model. Don't try to say, well, you know, you can to an extent. You should. It's good to be skeptical, but if your model's not working and you're desperately trying to say, well, there must be a reason why this is not working. There's a line to that you just can't cross. Eventually, there's going to be a line where it's going to be like, no, it doesn't matter. There's nothing out there that can justify this except for this. You know, like it's just no way. So meaning like, if I have a cube in my hands and I'm asked what the shape of that is, and someone's telling me that that is a sphere, at some point, you know, I'm going to say there's no way around this. These edges, these points are disproving a sphere. There's not going to be something out there that I'm waiting to find that's going to make sense of why, you know, I'm feeling a point on a sphere. You just can't have that. So that's the bad thing that happens with the flat earthers, is that they keep thinking, because there are things in life that, you know, that don't make sense, and then you end up finding a reason. Oh, that was why. You know, I thought it was this, but I was mistaken, and I found out a reason why. And that does happen in life, and I understand that's how knowledge works. But you have to be careful, and you have to know when to say no, right? So a couple things about the flat Earth model. So one of the biggest things, and I never get a good answer, I never found a good answer for this. The sun would never set on a flat Earth model. The flat Earth model has, you know, the Earth being flat, and the sun is rotating in a circle above the flat Earth. You would always see the sun. This is critical thinking, okay? Also, you wouldn't see the sunset, and you would see the sun get smaller and smaller and smaller, because it's getting dark, right? Its intensity went away, so the distance would have to get farther away in distance, and therefore get smaller. Another more critical thinking. The sun stays relatively the same size throughout the whole day. It's a little bit bigger when it's right above you, when we're closest to the sun, according to the globe, the round Earth theory model. So, but just a little bit. So. Also, so they have the sun that rotates around the flat Earth, and then they have the moon on the opposite side. That's terrible. So, yeah, so the sun and the moon, right? So, if you notice the moon on their model, it's always in the night. I see the moon. Everyone's seen the moon in the daytime. That's it. Like right there, you just disprove that model. Like it's not that hard, right? This is a lot easier than what I mean. When I started this flat Earth journey, I mean, obviously I saw some persuasive videos in the beginning, but I really wanted to know myself. I was like, I want to know this, and I don't think I was ever too persuaded by the flat Earth. It never made sense. It didn't. It did make a lot of sense with the round Earth, but I wasn't, in the beginning, I wasn't super confident. I was really being open-minded. I was like, you know, maybe I've been lied to my whole life, so I have to really be open-minded about this. But once you start really thinking about these things, you become more confident. I mean, you know it for yourself. You see the sun, you see the moon in the daytime. So, all right. The flat earthers explain seasons. They say like this, as the sun's rotating above the earth, the radius of where it rotates will get bigger and bigger and bigger. The problem with that is now the sun's going to be moving faster or slower in the sky. You're going to notice that. The sun's going to be smaller in the sky and bigger in the sky at some parts of the year. You never see that. It's just done. It's really easy to debunk this, like within seconds, minutes. Also too, when the sun is at the smaller radius, you're going to have constant sunlight on the, the center of Earth, and you don't see that, right? So you're not seeing what the model's saying. Also, you can't explain some things. You have the midnight sun in Norway. For example, the sun stays up for about 2 months out of the year. It stays in the sky. The flat Earth model can't explain that. The globe rotating around the sun perfectly explains it. So the flat Earth model, if you look at it, you're gonna have I don't have any. I'll do some video editing. I'll put this up there. But if you take a look at the flat Earth model, you actually take a look at the map. You're gonna have Australia right here, South America here, South Africa here, right? If 3 people are standing in this and they're looking in different directions, right? Okay, they're all gonna see the same thing, the Southern Cross, right? At a certain part of the year. You can't be looking a different direction and see the same thing in the night sky. What makes sense though, or why, because you're on a globe and those 3 continents are on the southern hemisphere and they're all looking in the same direction, So, yeah, I already mentioned that. Middle of the flat Earth will always get sun. And it's like they just like the sun like magically like stops at like a certain place, like it should be illuminating all the time in the center. But I think they try to explain that with like electromagnetic radiation or something. So, all right, and I already mentioned Norway, flight time differences. I mean, that their map doesn't work, so they might say, oh, well, we don't, just because we don't have a map. But yeah, their map doesn't work at all. So I forget where it is. I think it's from like Manhattan to Tokyo, and then Australia to somewhere else. I'm gonna have to, I'll post it in the description, but there's like, I saw it in the video that like, on the flat Earth map, one of them's this far and one of them's like super far away, but they both take the same amount of flight time. And so go figure, right? Why would that be? And it's because we're on a round Earth and their map doesn't work at all. Okay. I'm tired. So it's late for me. I'm gonna go to bed. That was my 3rd video. Super happy to make it. And I'm just gonna keep cranking these out. I'm gonna keep cranking these bad boys out, okay? I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping to all. I'm not gonna stop. This will be a lifelong mission to get the world united on something, to get everyone smarter, to find knowledge, find truth. I don't want to be deceived. Nope. Not this guy.